Hey everybody, Andrew Rose here at Capital Financial Solutions. Welcome back. If you watched the last video on target date funds, we are now in part two. And we're going to talk about once you get to retirement, can these investments get you through retirement? We're going to focus on three criteria. One, being longevity. Two, inflation. And three, required minimum distributions or RMDs. So longevity is the truth that people are living longer. Many of us know folks who've lived past age 90 or even age 100. And if we look here at the screen, we can see life expectancy continues to keep increasing with advances in healthcare. A 3-year-old has the likelihood of living past age 80, whereas someone born in 1960 was only likely to live 70 years old. So what this means is the risk for retirement is having potentially 3 or 4 decades worth of needing retirement income. The second piece we'll look at, inflation, which is the erosion of purchasing power. Back 20 years ago, you could go to McDonald's and get 2 bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits for $2. Today, that promotion is you can get 2 for $4. So these prices have doubled. Looking here at the screen, you can see the long-term historical inflation rate has been 3.15%. Even over the last decade with moderate or historically low inflation, that still erodes your purchasing power on things we spend money on. The third piece we're going to talk about, required minimum distributions or RMDs. So as of January 1st of this year, 2020, the IRS mandates that you have to take out a minimum amount every single year until you die from your 401k, IRA, and other tax-deductible accounts. So someone turning 72 has to take out 3.9% of their balance. If we look at the chart above, you can see that this multiple increases every single year as you get older. So a 85-year-old has to withdraw 6.7% or almost double that amount. So $1 million account, they have to withdraw $67,000. Many of you have heard the safe withdrawal rule of 4%, saying if I take 4% out of all my accounts, I'm likely to not run out of money. While that may be true in many circumstances, there are a lot of different components to that and to its success. So let's dig a little deeper. If you remember, based on the slide we have up here, the Vanguard Target Date Fund is going to be allocated at age 75 with about 35% in equities and about 65% in bonds and cash, or more stable, more predictable pieces. And the idea there is to reduce risk and fluctuation. But let's look at this next slide. This shows the success ratio based on asset allocation, so where money is invested, over a 25-year period. So based on this historical data, somebody withdrawing 5% a year has about a 68 to 79% chance of having enough money over 25 years in this allocation at age 75. But as we mentioned, RMDs are going to increase your withdrawal percentage. So if you now have to take out 7%, your success ratio drops to 4 to 29%. So the risk is there that you could run out of money if you live too long and if you withdraw a higher percentage. Now, let's look at someone with their allocated in 75% equities and 25% bonds. That same distribution rate, their success increases to 46%. So let's tie this all together. Do target date funds work in retirement to deliver retirement income? They could, but there's a lot of variables at play and a lot of variables we can't control. How long you're going to live, what inflation's going to be, and ultimately, what investment performance is going to be too. Remember that these funds were based on data and facts that worked 60 years ago. Well, 60 years ago was quite different from today. People only lived 7 or 8 years in retirement as an average. In addition, you could put money in bonds or CDs or cash and earn north of 6 or 7%. And you also didn't have RMDs yet because 401k and tax-deductible accounts didn't come back into the late 70s. So we're in a very different world, and it takes some prudent diligence to make sure that your money is going to get you through retirement. So what can you do? One, talk with your financial advisor and run a statistical analysis or probability analysis on your portfolio to see what your success ratio is. These are often called a Monte Carlo analysis. So it can look at your asset allocation as well as a time horizon, let's say 40 years in retirement, and make sure that you have a 100% chance of getting through retirement with your income goal. And this looks at how your money is allocated and runs 1,000 different scenarios, good markets, bad markets, etc. But again, remember, finding the right allocation is right for you is key. Some people don't want to take on risks, some people are comfortable with it. So the key thing is find an advisor, figure out what works for you, and get the right allocation set up and constantly monitor it as time goes by. Thank you for checking in. Please leave some comments below. And also don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. Take care.